Do you need a website for your podcast, or can you just live off your podcast host alone? I got some answers for you and many other answers to questions I think you might have, all coming up next. Hey there, podcaster. My name is Shannon Hernandez, radio broadcaster, podcaster, and podcast producer. Today's video is brought to you by Agora Pulse. Now, today I want to talk to you about whether or not you should start a podcast website for your podcast. Now, I'm not talking about hosting. I'm not talking about where you're going to put your audio files. I am talking about actually having a website, a place where someone can come and learn more about you, where they can consume more than just your podcast. They can consume the About page. They can see what you're all about. They can see if you have a store available on your website. They can see whether or not you're offering free downloads of guides, anything like that. And a website is a really great marketing tool that you can use, because a website will actually do the work for you and your marketing if you're doing it smart. Now, if you're not interested in having a website for your podcast, this is something that I really need you to consider and rethink, because I mentioned it in my email newsletter last week, the benefits of having a podcast website, a website just for you and your brand alone. And all this has to do with the fact that your website, again, will do the work for you if you know the steps to take. So if you want to learn more about those tips, you can always get on my email newsletter list. You can go ahead and click the link down in the descriptions below if you want to check that out. But I will share some of those tips out in my newsletter and things that you don't hear in some of these videos, all right? So today, let's talk about some of the platforms that you can use, or the best platforms that you could use that may be best for you and maybe your budget when it comes down to starting up a website for your podcast. Now, of course, we're going to need a website for our podcast. That's a no-brainer, right? But what we're also going to need to know is which one is the best. The best ones are really the ones that have a lot of functionality, the ones that allow you to implement whatever type of, I guess, form, or maybe player, or maybe image. It could be anything that you want. It's all based in functionality. Now, the first site that I'm going to talk about is Squarespace. Now, Squarespace is something that you can pay, I believe, monthly. This isn't something that I have personally used on my own. I have used it for other clients, but I do know that you can either pay monthly or you can pay yearly for their service. And for the most part, it's a pretty easy platform that you can use. You can go in, you can create blogs. If you have a graphic designer or some type of images that you could put in there, I know that you can upload images really easy. You can embed code in there. It's a very simple, basic site. And for some Squarespace users, they're mainly using it for their online merchandise, and so that's really a benefit. I know a lot of online retailers that use Squarespace, and they say that's all I really need, and that's completely fine. Now, a site that you can use or a platform that you can use is WordPress. Now, everyone and their grandmother is using WordPress, and mainly because WordPress is a very functional, it's a very customizable platform. Now, I'm not talking about WordPress.com. What I'm talking about is going in and buying your domain for your podcast, for your podcast name, and getting hosting on, GoDaddy, Bluehost, HostGator, wherever you're getting your hosting. And on the back end of that hosting, you can create your own WordPress site, your own self-hosted website. When I first started out in podcasting and I first started out building websites, I didn't know that this even existed. So just know that this is going to be a little bit of a learning curve if you don't know how to use WordPress. I would recommend that you take a course on how to build your own website on WordPress, because it's going to take time to learn the platform. I will tell you this, I didn't know what to do when I jumped into WordPress. It was very intimidating, and I didn't know what things like plugins were meant to do. I didn't know how to change settings. There's a lot that goes into building your own website on WordPress, and it will take a lot of time, and it will take away time from you building out your podcast. But if that's something that you want to do, you are more than welcome to do a WordPress website through your hosting service like GoDaddy or Bluehost or HostGator. Now, with something like WordPress, you're going to have to get themes, and themes do cost money as well. And typically where I know where people are getting their themes are either themeforest.net, or there's different themes that are on the internet that are just products alone. I know that there was a theme called Genesis that is basically the basic shell of creating a very high quality website, but those do cost money. They may cost $100. They may cost, $150 for the shell itself, and then you have to go in and build it for yourself. And that's going to be completely up to you, but I will tell you this, you're going to spend money on a website, but if you want to do that, it's going to make your podcast look a little bit better. Now, with WordPress, like I said, come things like plugins. Plugins make your website customizable. You're able to integrate online applications like MailChimp, Lead Pages, Infusionsoft, just a number of things into WordPress. And that's kind of beneficial if you're looking to get serious about your podcast, all right, or your podcast website, all right? Now, the last and final platform that you can use is something that I use. I actually graduated to this one. It's called Kajabi. And I learned about Kajabi through my business coach, and she told me all about Kajabi. And it was really meant for creating online courses, online digital courses. And at the time, I was building out courses for Facebook Live and photo tutorials. And it was really just all about building digital products. But since then, Kajabi has done a good job of transforming their entire site into a blog site, and it is an all-in-one solution for you if you want to accomplish email marketing, you want to accomplish collecting email leads, creating landing pages, creating digital products, and have a blog itself. But I think one of the best things about Kajabi is that it's all drag and drop. You can customize the look of your website by drag and drop. That's really one of the benefits behind Kajabi. I think it's such an easy to use system and platform for people who are serious about their podcast website. Not only that, but it allows the podcaster to create content that is behind a membership paywall that listeners who are listening on their normal iTunes feed can't get it there. They would have to go in and they would go into a back-end membership site, and maybe that's something that you set up as the owner of the site. Say, hey, it's $5 a month. You can access bonus content and get the downloads here. And that Kajabi definitely does that. So you do have those options. Another benefit behind Kajabi is a lot of the things are set up for you. If you need to have email sequences, they've written out those email sequences for you. They set up the pages for you. They set up the landing pages for you. A lot of the things are set up, and it's just easy to use. Now, like I said before, I will say this. This is for power users. These are for people who are serious about starting up their podcast website with a lot of gumption, and they're ready to go full steam ahead. It's going to cost some money. It does cost about $100 a month, just a little over $100 a month to start the website and maintain it. The benefit behind it is that you don't have to do a lot of these things that you have to do with WordPress. You just use Kajabi and you set up a few things and you're off and running. It doesn't take hardly any time at all. So that is one of the benefits behind Kajabi. I mean, I could go so deep into Kajabi. It has helped me out tremendously, and I like it actually a lot better than WordPress because I don't have to deal with a lot of the problems that I was having with a WordPress website. What I'm going to go ahead and do for you, if you're a small business owner or you're an entrepreneur or someone to look into creating a website that is really highly functional and is an all-in-one solution for your needs, I'm going to leave a link, an affiliate link down below to where you can get 15% off the normal price of Kajabi, and you get that, I believe, for the full year. So make sure you go ahead and click that link down below. Again, affiliate link, and I hope that you find it as useful as I have found it useful. If you like this video, go ahead and leave it a thumbs up, or if you want to recommend it to a friend, go ahead and share it with a friend, either on email, Twitter, Facebook, wherever, and I'd be more than happy to see that you tag me on that. If you're on Twitter, @TheShanMan is my Twitter handle. And over here on your right-hand side, I'm going to go ahead and leave a video for you that might be helpful for you when you're starting your podcasting journey. In fact, maybe I'll leave something that has to deal with your transcriptions for your website that go on your blog, because that's something that is kind of a big deal about creating podcast notes and show notes and how you are found inside of Google. I highly recommend that you check that out and all the other videos that I got going on right there, okay? In the meantime, have a great time, and if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible.